Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Have you ever looked at your own body, your own mind, and thought, what if I could just nudge this a bit? What if I could unlock a little more potential, maybe a bit more clarity, perhaps even a surprising burst of energy? We are truly living in a fascinating time, I think. The boundaries between, well, cutting edge science, innovative tech, and our personal well being, they're really blurring in some pretty remarkable ways. And right at the heart of this sort of quiet revolution is a concept that's gaining, well, huge traction: biohacking. It's a broad term, often quite do it yourself or DIY, you could say. An approach to health that doesn't just put you in the driver's seat, it pretty much hands you the keys to fine tune your own biological engine. So, our mission in this deep dive is to pull back the curtain on this often misunderstood and sometimes, let's face it, controversial movement. We've meticulously gathered a whole stack of sources, everything from, rigorous scientific articles and expert analyses to fascinating firsthand accounts, even some philosophical explorations, really trying to uncover what biohacking truly means, how it works in practice, and maybe it's surprising, sometimes kind of radical implications for our future, and importantly, for your potential.
That's right. And at its core, fundamentally, biohacking is really about making these incremental, quite deliberate, and often data-driven changes to your biology, your diet, your lifestyle. The goal, the explicit goal is always pretty clear: improve your health, maybe enhance performance, or just elevate your overall well-being. It's essentially about leveraging scientific understanding, modern technology, and these really precise lifestyle adjustments to, well, optimize your biological processes. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is just how rapidly this whole movement has evolved. It started, somewhat humbly. Simple adjustments like refining diet, exercise routines based on just personal observation. But it quickly expanded into what was once maybe playfully, maybe provocatively called garage biology back in the early 2000s. You had individuals starting to experiment with more complex biological stuff outside traditional labs. Now, it's unequivocally a global movement driven by this ever-increasing interest in preventative health, radical self-optimization, and personal empowerment.
It's really a direct response, I think, to people wanting more control over their own health narratives.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this a bit because a lot of biohacking, especially, I guess, for people just starting out, it seems to begin with simply understanding your body, understanding it in a way we've just never had access to before, right? And that's precisely where wearable technology steps in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Wearables are key.
It's gone from being like a niche gadget for fitness buffs to something genuinely integrated into our daily health routines, offering these continuous insights. I mean, think about it. Remember when fitness trackers basically just counted your steps, maybe calories burned? That was kind of it.
Right, very basic.
Now you've got sophisticated smartwatches like the Apple Watch, these advanced smart rings like Aura, or dedicated trackers like Whoop. They're giving us this comprehensive, real-time view of our physiological state. It almost feels like having a highly personalized health dashboard just strapped to your wrist or finger.
Exactly. Wearable technology has become not just a significant entry point, but an absolutely essential tool for serious biohackers, precisely because it provides such a wealth of personalized continuous health data. These devices, they're designed to continuously monitor a whole array of metrics, offering these invaluable insights that genuinely empower individuals to take a profoundly proactive role in managing their own well-being. And what's truly fascinating here is the depth, the detail of the data they can now provide. It's way beyond just step counts.
Okay, so what kind of metrics are we talking about?
Well, for instance, beyond just a basic heart rate reading, many devices track heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, this isn't just a number. It's dynamic, incredibly insightful. It indicates your autonomic nervous system's balance.
Okay, HRV balance. What does that mean practically?
Well, a higher HRV generally suggests your body is more resilient, it's better able to adapt to stress, and it's in a good state of recovery. Conversely, a lower HRV might signal physiological stress, fatigue, maybe even an impending illness. It's like an early warning sign, prompting you to prioritize rest.
Got it. That's useful.
Then there's sleep tracking. And again, these devices don't just tell you how long you slept. They analyze your intricate sleep architecture. They differentiate between crucial sleep stages, like REM sleep, which is absolutely vital for memory consolidation, learning, emotional processing.
Right, the brain stuff.
Exactly. And deep sleep, which is critical for physical repair, tissue growth, strengthening your immune system. So understanding the quality and duration of these specific stages can really illuminate precisely why you might wake up feeling groggy, even after what seemed like 8 hours.
So it's not just quantity, it's the quality of those stages.
Precisely. And it extends further. They monitor blood oxygen saturation, SpO2, crucial for respiratory insights. It can flag things like sleep apnea or even indicate respiratory issues. Beyond these, wearables can track your physical activity levels with impressive accuracy, monitor stress through markers like skin conductance, even measure subtle shifts in skin temperature, which can offer early clues about illness or, for women, provide valuable insights into their menstrual cycle.
It's incredible, really, just how much actionable information these relatively small devices gather from, well, just your wrist. But how do they actually do it? What's the tech behind these health insights?
Yeah, it's clever. Primarily, for heart rate and blood oxygen, they use a technology called photoplethysmography. Usually relies on optical sensors. These tiny sensors, they basically emit light into the skin, typically green light for heart rate and red and infrared light for blood oxygen. Then they measure the light that reflects back. You see, as blood flows through the capillaries right under your skin, the volume changes with each heartbeat.
Okay.
And these subtle changes in blood volume affect how much light gets absorbed versus how much gets reflected back. The optical sensor detects these tiny changes in reflected light, and then sophisticated algorithms inside the device translate these light patterns into real-time data. Data on your heart rate, your HRV, blood oxygen levels. It's completely non-invasive, but remarkably effective for getting deep physiological insights without, drawing blood or anything.
Right. So, okay, we've got all this detailed, continuous data flowing in. What does this actually mean for us, the users? How does having this granular data actually empower someone to become, well, a biohacker?
Yeah, this is where the real power comes in. This data empowers individuals in several really impactful ways. It fundamentally shifts our relationship with our own health. Firstly, it allows you to establish your precise baseline, your starting point. Before you can optimize anything, you absolutely need to know your body's normal, right?
Right, makes sense.
This data gives you that objective baseline. Secondly, it helps you identify patterns that would otherwise be completely invisible. For instance, you might notice your HRV consistently drops on days you have particularly high-stress meetings, or maybe your deep sleep tanks after late-night meals or intense evening workouts. These patterns are invaluable. They highlight specific triggers, specific influences on your well-being.
Okay, seeing the connections.
Exactly. Thirdly, and this is crucial, it lets you track your progress with objective feedback. If you start a new exercise routine, or adopt a specific diet change, or try a new sleep protocol, the data gives you undeniable feedback on how your body's actually responding. This helps you see if your efforts are working, or if you need to tweak your approach. Ultimately, this transforms health from something vague, often reactive, into a quantifiable, data-driven, and proactive journey. You can set highly personalized goals, better sleep, less stress, faster recovery, maybe boosted cognitive function, and then use that continuous real-time feedback to pinpoint areas for improvement, fine-tune your strategies, and really optimize your health outcomes. It's about turning those insights into action.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Moving beyond just the gadgets themselves. Because biohacking isn't just about the tech, right? It's about taking the insights we get from devices, from science, and applying them to the really fundamental parts of our lives. And if there's one fundamental aspect that underpins pretty much everything else, it's got to be sleep. We all know it's important. But how does biohacking approach sleep to, truly maximize its restorative potential?
Sleep is just profoundly important. Yet it's probably one of the most undervalued, often neglected pillars of health. It's not just resting. It's this meticulously orchestrated biological process, absolutely essential for comprehensive physical repair. Think cellular regeneration, muscle building, tissue repair, strengthening the immune system.
Wow, okay, it does a lot.
A huge amount. And cognitively. Restorative sleep is critical for concentration, memory consolidation, effective decision-making, creative problem-solving. Emotionally, it helps regulate our moods, process experiences, manage stress. Physiologically, it even plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar, maintaining a healthy weight through hormone balance.
So what happens when we don't get enough or enough good sleep?
The consequences of consistently poor sleep are far-reaching, honestly quite severe. It creates this kind of destructive domino effect throughout the body. We're talking tangible cognitive decline, decreased concentration, impaired memory, that general mental fogginess. It's strongly linked to mood disorders, increased irritability, heightened stress, anxiety, a significantly higher likelihood of depression. Your immune system gets chronically weakened, making you far more susceptible to infections, slower to recover. That's a direct, often immediate outcome. And long-term. Consistent sleep deficiency is deeply associated with heightened risks of serious chronic conditions, obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, even certain neurodegenerative disorders. It truly is foundational. Foundational to every single aspect of our physical and mental health.
And it's not just about the hours you spend in bed, is it? There's this whole intricate hormonal dance happening while we sleep, or, when we should be sleeping. Biohacking seems to specifically aim to influence and optimize that. Can you explain that interplay a bit, especially how modern life messes it up?
Yeah, absolutely. The main conductor in our natural sleep-wake cycle, our circadian rhythm, is melatonin, often called the sleep hormone. As natural daylight fades in the evening, our brains naturally ramp up melatonin secretion, sends a clear signal, time to prepare for rest, brings on drowsiness. The big problem in our modern world, though, is all this pervasive exposure to artificial light, especially the blue light from screens, phones, tablets, computers. It can dramatically impede this natural increase in melatonin. It basically confuses your brain into thinking it's still daytime.
Right, the blue light effect. I've heard about that.
Exactly. Then there's cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Cortisol levels should naturally decrease as evening comes on, letting your mind and body relax, transition into sleep. But in our chronically stressed, fast-paced society, persistent stress keeps cortisol levels elevated well into the night, severely disrupts this delicate balance, makes it incredibly hard to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Stress impacting sleep, sleep impacting stress. It's a cycle.
It absolutely is. And finally, serotonin, widely associated with mood, well-being. It's also vital here because it's the crucial precursor to melatonin. So anything that negatively influences your serotonin-poor diet, chronic stress can ultimately impact your body's ability to produce enough melatonin and initiate restful sleep. Biohacking sleep fundamentally aims to optimize this complex hormonal balance, align it with your natural biological clock.
That's a powerful explanation of the why. So, okay, with all that hormonal and physiological understanding, what are the actionable steps, the actual hacks, if you will, that our sources suggest for truly optimizing sleep? How do we take back control?
Okay, the sources give a really comprehensive, practical approach. First, and maybe most foundational, sync your life with your circadian rhythm. This means striving for a consistent sleep schedule. Ideally, bed and wake-up times roughly the same every day, even weekends. This reinforces your internal clock.
Consistency is key then.
Hugely. Also, getting natural sunlight exposure, especially in the mornings shortly after waking, helps regulate the rhythm, boosts vitamin D2, and conversely, minimizing that blue light exposure from screens and harsh artificial lights for at least, say, 2-3 hours before bed. Crucial. Allows your natural melatonin to rise. Maybe use blue light blocking glasses, dim the lights.
Okay, rhythm and light. What else?
Second, you absolutely must optimize your sleep environment. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep. This means keeping it cool, ideally between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 15-19 Celsius. Cooler temps help you fall asleep. Reducing noise is vital, maybe earplugs, a white noise machine. And investing in a comfortable mattress, pillows, breathable bedding cannot be overstated. Directly impacts comfort, sleep continuity.
Creating the right space. Got it.
Third, incorporate calming pre-sleep rituals.
Okay.
This isn't just about winding down. It's actively signaling to your body the day is over. Could be listening to a calming podcast, instrumental music, gentle, deep breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 method.
Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8.
That's the one. Or light stretching, maybe yoga nidra, that guided meditation, yogic sleep. Induces profound relaxation. These rituals actively reduce the time it takes to fall asleep.
Okay, setting the stage mentally and physically.
Fourth, and this is a common trap, be extremely mindful of stimulants and depressants. Caffeine, obviously, is a powerful stimulant. It can stay elevated in your blood for 6, even 8 hours. Significantly disrupts sleep architecture, makes it harder to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Generally wise to cut off caffeine after lunch or at least 8 hours before bed.
Yeah, that afternoon coffee. Maybe not such a great idea.
Probably not. And alcohol. While it might make you feel sleepy initially, it actually acts as a sedative that severely messes with your vital REM sleep later in the night. Leads to fragmented, unrestful sleep, often waking up multiple times. Limiting alcohol, especially near bedtime, is essential for quality sleep.
Okay, stimulants out, calm routines in. What about supplements?
Right. Fifth, support your sleep with targeted, evidence-backed supplements, but always prioritize lifestyle changes first. They're tools, not magic bullets. Magnesium, for example, is a natural muscle and nerve relaxant. Studies show it can improve sleep quality by calming the nervous system. Melatonin supplements can aid sleep induction, especially for disrupted cycles or jet lag, by supplementing the body's natural production. And interestingly, beta-glucan, that's a soluble fiber known for boosting immunity, might indirectly help sleep by promoting overall health, reducing inflammatory stressors. But remember, these are meant to support, not replace, good sleep hygiene.
That's a really comprehensive look at sleep hacking. Behavior, environment, biology, it covers a lot. So now that we've laid that crucial foundation of sleep, what does this all mean for what we actually put into our bodies? A biohacking diet. It definitely doesn't sound like just another fad. It seems to be about deep personalization, which sounds like the total opposite of one size fits all.
Exactly. That's the core philosophy. A biohacking diet is profoundly personalized. It's the antithesis of those rigid conventional plans that give everyone the same rules. Instead, it relies heavily on systematic self-experimentation, meticulously leveraging personal data often from advanced tools like DNA tests, continuous glucose monitors, wearables, using that data to precisely fine-tune your food, your supplement choices for your absolutely unique biology. It's iterative, constant monitoring, agile adjustments based on real feedback.
Okay, so how does that personalization process actually work? What are the steps?
Our sources outline 4 crucial interconnected steps in this process. First, clearly identify your specific health goals. What are you aiming for? Weight loss, better cognitive performance, consistent energy, faster recovery, longevity. Your goals shape the whole approach.
I know where you're going.
Precisely. Second, proactively use advanced tools to gather personalized data. This is where DNA tests, wearables become invaluable. They give deep insights into your genetic predispositions, your individual metabolic responses, how your body reacts to different foods. For example, knowing your genetics for processing fats can revolutionize your diet choices.
So data collection is key. Then what?
Third, make incremental, science-backed dietary adjustments based on that data. Not radical overhauls, but small, calculated tweaks. Like if a genetic test shows you have that MTHFR gene mutation affects folate processing, you might adjust your diet. More natural folate from leafy greens, liver, maybe avoid synthetic folic acid.
Targeted changes based on your biology.
Exactly. And fourth, it's an ongoing, continuous process of meticulously monitoring your body's response, seeing how those changes affect you, and making further refinements. It's a continuous feedback loop, ensuring your diet stays optimally tuned to your evolving biology.
That makes perfect sense. So while the big emphasis is clearly on personalization, are there still some, fundamental principles, broadly evidence-backed hacks that generally apply, providing a strong starting point for these experiments? What are the common threads?
Yes, absolutely. While personalization is king, our sources consistently highlight several fundamental principles, widely applicable strategies, excellent starting points. First, and arguably most impactful, prioritize whole, nutrient-dense foods. Focus on abundance: vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats. These foods are powerhouses: essential vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber. Crucial for cellular health, organ function, reducing inflammation. Studies consistently link higher fruit-veg intake to lower risk of chronic diseases, longer life.
So real food first.
Definitely. In stark contrast, you have ultra-processed foods, many cereals, packaged snacks, sugary drinks, refined seed oils, typically low in nutrients, high in added sugars, unhealthy additives, often inflammatory, strongly linked to increased health risks, obesity, diabetes, heart disease.
Makes sense. What's next?
Second, focus on quality protein sources. Protein is crucial, not just for muscle repair and growth, but also for sustainable fat loss, maintaining satiety, keeping you full longer. Think wild-caught fish, rich in omega-3s, free-range poultry, pasture-raised eggs, and plant-based options like tofu, tempeh, lentils are great too. It's worth noting, plant-based proteins are gaining huge prominence among biohackers. Figures like Brian Johnson advocate for meticulously controlled, whole food, plant-based diets, citing studies showing lower risks of major diseases.
Interesting shift towards plant-based, even in biohacking. What about fats? Still confusing for many.
Yeah, third point. Incorporate more healthy fats. Strategically limit saturated fats. The type of fat matters hugely. Healthy fats are essential. They reduce cravings, balance hormones, support heart health, brain function, even improve skin. Think fatty fish like salmon, whole eggs, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds like chia and flax. Now, a ketogenic diet, very high in healthy fats, is popular with some biohackers for metabolic benefits. But sources emphasize it's not universally ideal long-term, often needs careful monitoring.
Okay, healthy fat's good. Keto, maybe not for everyone. What should we limit or avoid?
Fourth, consider significantly reducing or avoiding red and processed meats. The World Health Organization classified red meat as probably carcinogenic, and processed meats, hot dogs, bacon, sausage, as carcinogenic. They often contain harmful preservatives, high salt, nitrates, linked to increased colorectal cancer risk, other issues. Leaner poultry, fish, or more plant-based options are strongly suggested as healthier alternatives.
Okay, that's a clear guideline. What else? I hear a lot about fasting.
Yes. Fifth, explore the benefits of intermittent fasting. IF. Powerful technique. Strategic cycles of eating and fasting. Shown to promote autophagy, the body's natural cellular cleanup process. Removes old, damaged cells. Linked to longevity, reduced inflammation, better heart health, metabolic flexibility, weight management.
What kind of fasting are we talking about?
Popular types include the 16.8 method, fast 16 hours, eat within an 8-hour window, or circadian rhythm fasting, aligning eating with daylight hours. More intensive are alternate day fasting, or the 5.2 fast, restricting calories significantly 2 days a week. Important note though, each IF can have different hormonal effects for women, so approach with awareness, maybe professional guidance.
Good caveat. What about vitamins and minerals?
Sixth, meticulously hit your micronutrient goals. Vitamins, minerals are vital. Optimal immunity, brain health, cellular repair, countless functions. We need them from our diet. Key ones often highlighted: vitamin D, omega-3s, magnesium, B12, iron. Eating diverse, colorful whole foods is paramount. Regular blood work can pinpoint deficiencies needing supplementation.
Which leads to supplements themselves.
Exactly. Seventh, experiment with supplementation deliberately and scientifically. Never a substitute for a good diet, but powerful tools when used strategically. Targeting micronutrient needs, deficiencies, specific performance goals. This includes things like nootropics for cognition, adaptogens like ashwagandha for stress, probiotics for gut health, cutting-edge compounds like NAD plus precursors, NMN, NR, being explored for anti-aging, cellular energy. But crucial, consult a healthcare professional, get blood work, maybe genetic testing to personalize. Don't just guess. Quality and third-party testing are vital too.
Right. Supplements as targeted support, not a foundation. What else?
Eighth, often overlooked. Ensure optimal hydration. Proper hydration impacts everything: energy, focus, skin, digestion, kidneys. Aim for at least half a gallon to maybe 0.8 gallons, so 2-3 liters, of pure, filtered water daily. Many biohackers enhance it: lemon juice, fruit infusions, balanced electrolytes, especially if active or fasting, to improve absorption.
Hydration is key. Last one.
Ninth, cultivate the practice of mindful eating. Goes beyond what you eat to how you eat. Savoring bites, listening to hungerfulness cues, eating without distraction, engaging senses, can dramatically improve digestion, prevent overeating, foster a healthier relationship with food. A simple food journal tracking how foods make you feel, energy, mood, digestion, provides invaluable personal insights for tuning.
That's a phenomenal amount of practical yet deeply personalized advice for diet. Really reinforces that data-driven, experimental approach. Now let's shift focus, movement and mindset. Because biohacking isn't just about food or gadgets, is it? Optimizing physical and mental state is huge, too.
Precisely. Exercise. It's
Yeah.
an incredible biohack for your entire body and mind, far beyond just vanity or muscle building.
Yeah.
Regular physical activity is intricately linked to more restorative sleep, better mood regulation via endorphins, enhanced cellular energy production. It even actively promotes creating new mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells.
More energy factories.
Exactly. But timing is crucial. Vigorous, high-intensity exercise too close to bedtime could be stimulating, disrupt sleep. Best to finish intense workouts at least 3-4 hours before bed. What's fascinating now is how tech is pushing boundaries in exercise efficiency and recovery. Advanced resistance tech, like ARX adaptive resistance exercise, uses computer-controlled motors. Provides optimal adaptive resistance through your whole range of motion. Matches your strength perfectly.
Sounds intense.
It allows for incredibly efficient high-intensity workouts in way less time than traditional weights. Maximum stimulus, minimal joint stress.
Wow.
And for recovery, just as important tools like red light therapy are booming. Devices like the Kineon Movi E Plus Pro, for example. They emit specific wavelengths of red near-infrared light. Penetrate skin, trigger cellular vents, can accelerate muscle recovery, reduce soreness, enhance performance by stimulating mitochondria, reducing inflammation, promoting repair.
Okay, so tech helps optimize workouts and recovery. But what about the mental side? Stress is such a killer for well-being.
Indeed. Chronic stress is far more than just a mental state. It has profound, measurable physiological effects. Persistent, unmanaged stress contributes to a wide array of diseases, increases blood pressure, suppresses immunity, leads to nervous system deregulation, constant fight or flight. Even our breathing patterns change dramatically. Under stress, breathing tends to become shallow, rapid, chest-focused, signals danger back to the brain, creating a vicious cycle.
Yeah, you can really feel that shallow breathing when stressed.
Absolutely. And this is where specific stress management techniques become vital biohacks, helping restore balance. Practices like breathwork, that 4-7-8 method we mentioned, inhale 4, cold 7, exhale 8, powerfully activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. It actively lowers cortisol, reduces heart rate, decreases blood pressure. promotes deep relaxation, physiological calm. Similarly, deep meditation like yoga nidra, yoga sleep, is incredibly effective. Induces profound relaxation, mental clarity, puts the body in a state like deep sleep while the mind stays gently aware. Incorporating these practices daily helps actively manage that insidious impact of stress that ruins sleep and function, gives you back control over your internal state.
Right. Okay, so we've covered wearables, sleep, diet, exercise, stress. Now, this is where we seem to transition from general optimization to understanding our really unique individual blueprint. The frontier, you could say, deeply intertwined with cutting-edge genetic insights and the rapid advance of artificial intelligence, moving beyond a body to understanding your unique body at the most fundamental level.
Exactly. What's truly revolutionary here is the accelerating power of genetic testing. It's giving unprecedented insights into our individual predispositions for specific health conditions, unique dietary sensitivities, even how our bodies respond to different exercises, metabolize things, maybe react to certain medications. For example, understanding you have that MTHFR gene mutation. It impacts how your body processes folate, a crucial B vitamin. Knowing that can profoundly inform your diet regarding folate sources. Affects energy detoxification.
So genetics offers a deeper layer of personalization. What's the cutting edge there?
The most advanced approach, highlighted in our sources, is whole genome genetic testing. Platforms like Nucleus offer this. Unlike older tests analyzing maybe less than 0.1% of your DNA, whole genome sequencing meticulously looks at nearly 100% of your entire DNA sequence. This incredibly comprehensive genetic data can then be seamlessly combined with non-genetic factors, your BMI, cholesterol, blood pressure, lifestyle habits, to provide a truly holistic overview of your current health risks, future predispositions, personalized optimization pathways.
Can you give an example of how that might work?
Sure. A prime, highly impactful example is understanding your APOE gene variations. APOE influences how your body processes fats, impacts cholesterol, cardiovascular health, even risk for certain neurological conditions. Knowing your specific APOE genotype can lead to highly personalized dietary adjustments, lifestyle recommendations, potentially mitigating future health risks. Plus, these advanced platforms often come with invaluable support, access to genetic counselors for expert guidance, regular report updates as science evolves, ensuring your insights stay current and actionable.
That's truly groundbreaking, a level of detail unimaginable just a few years back. And how does artificial intelligence, AI, specifically machine learning, fit into this, taking all this vast, complex data, wearables, genetics, and making it actually useful for the average person?
AI, particularly machine learning, is absolutely transformative here, enhancing both wearables and genetic insights. AI algorithms are exceptionally good at discerning subtle, complex patterns, uncovering hidden correlations within the immense data sets from wearables. Minute HRV fluctuations, intricate sleep stages, nuanced activity levels, it moves way beyond just raw data. AI can intelligently interpret it, synthesize diverse inputs, then provide highly personalized, actionable recommendations for improving sleep, managing stress, optimizing well-being. Platforms like Shay.ai are pioneering examples. AI deconstructs your unique biology, integrating genetics, microbiome analysis, real-time biometrics to offer incredibly precise, tailored advice, from ideal food choices to optimal exercise timing.
So AI acts like a personalized health analyst.
In a way, yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the ultimate, truly exciting vision is predictive analytics. Imagine your wearable, seamlessly integrated with advanced AI, not just telling you what's happening now, but actually anticipating and helping prevent potential health issues before they even manifest symptoms. Based on continuous analysis of heart rate, subtle sleep pattern shifts, hormone fluctuations, early inflammatory markers, AI could provide proactive warnings about potential risks. This radical shift towards proactive healthcare empowers individuals. Make lifestyle adjustments, seek medical attention before a condition fully develops, fundamentally transforming healthcare from reactive illness management to truly preventative and personalized, staying ahead of the curve.
Okay, that's the predictive future. Now, let's venture into what many might consider the more radical, maybe even speculative edge of biohacking, a concept that really challenges our definition of being human, transhumanism. Often described as an ideology of radical self-actualization, where the goal is literally to use tech and biology to become a cyborg, pushing beyond current human limits.
It's an incredibly fascinating and, for many, a provocative area.
Yeah.
Our sources highlight prominent figures embracing this philosophy. People like Zoltan István, often seen as a leading voice in transhumanism, and Meow Ludo Disco Gamma Meow Meow.
Yes.
Yes, that's his name. Both have publicly embraced implanting microchips directly into their hands. These aren't just theories. These implants have tangible, practical uses.
Like what kind of uses?
Zoltan Isfan has discussed having multiple chips storing data, including credit card info for tap to pay. Just wave his hand over the terminal. Miao Ludo famously had a legal issue in Australia because he implanted a public transit card chip. Use it for payment. The author of One Source even personally experimented, implanted a tiny rice grain-size RFID chip in their hand.
Wow. What was their experience? Did they feel enhanced?
They described uses like unlocking a smartphone by tapping the wrist, opening digital door locks, maybe starting a car. Interestingly, the author noted that while the implantation felt weird, kind of alien initially, they didn't ultimately feel dramatically enhanced. Often forgot the chip was even there. So while the tech exists, the immediate impact on daily human experience for these specific implants might be somewhat modest compared to grander transhumanist visions. But it definitely signals a profound shift in our willingness to integrate technology directly into our bodies.
That's a truly remarkable account, pushing boundaries of what's normal. But this raises a huge question, especially if these advancements become more powerful, more widespread. What are the broader societal implications? Our sources mention a serious concern about inequality, right? A potential two-tiered future.
This is precisely where the ethical debate sharpens considerably, forces us to confront profound questions about fairness, access. Michael Bess, a futurist and historian cited in the sources, raises this significant concern. The potential for a widening gap, an unprecedented divide between an enhanced elite and a natural poor. His worry is that if advanced enhancements, sophisticated neural implants for cognitive boosts, radical genetic modifications for immunity, extreme longevity interventions, if these are only accessible to the wealthy, it could lead to unparalleled performance disparities in every sphere: professional, personal, social. This scenario could severely erode self-worth for those who can't afford to upgrade their biology, fundamentally devalue what it means to be natural or just human, creating a deeply stratified society based on biological capability.
That's a chilling prospect. Is there a counter-argument, a more optimistic view?
Yes, a compelling counter-argument is also presented, offering a more optimistic outlook. This perspective posits that the collective technological and medicinal breakthroughs emerging from a super-enhanced workforce, or an optimized segment of humanity, might ultimately elevate the quality of living and general intellect for everyone. The idea is that advancements, even if initially exclusive, historically tend to trickle down, benefiting society over time, like early penicillin or computers. Proponents argue a more capable, intelligent, healthy population driven by biohacking innovation could lead to solutions for global challenges, ultimately a net positive for all humanity. It's a complex ethical tightrope, really, balancing individual enhancement with the imperative of societal equity and overall human flourishing.
That truly frames the dilemma. And it brings us to a crucial point. Navigating this future means confronting serious risks, complex ethics, and the immense challenge of regulating technologies that often outpace our legal frameworks.
You're absolutely right. The critical safety and ethical concerns stem largely from that DIY nature, especially at the radical edge. DIY biohacking often operates entirely outside traditional institutions, medical practices, government regs, lacks rigorous formal safety training, peer review, ethical oversight found in conventional science. This largely unregulated environment, sometimes called garbage biology by critics, poses significant, often unknown risks when unverified methods are used directly on oneself. It's a stark contrast to the decades-long meticulous approval processes for drugs or vaccines, which undergo extensive scrutiny, trials, testing before release.
So safety is a major concern, especially with things like gene editing.
Exactly. The concern is particularly acute there. The tools, in some cases, are becoming accessible enough to potentially be a hobby in home labs, not specialized, controlled facilities with trained pros. There's also significant worry about unintended consequences, even bioterrorism, given the open-source nature of much of the movement. Protocols, genetic sequences, instructions shared online. Ease of access fosters innovation, yes, but also creates vulnerabilities governments are grappling with. Modified organisms don't respect borders, raising concerns about violating things like the UN Biological Weapons Convention if they impact biodiversity or health elsewhere.
It certainly sounds like a lot of legal gray areas, laws struggling to keep pace with the science.
Absolutely. National laws are often fuzzy, outdated, mostly designed for GMOs and agriculture, not individual biohacking or advanced gene editing. Creates a complex regulatory landscape. We're already seeing responses globally. Singapore considered comprehensive licenses for biohackers, with fines or jail for noncompliance, aiming for basic safety ethics. The UN Convention on Biological Diversity has discussed synthetic biology's implications for biodiversity, human health.
What about in the U.S. or other places?
Law enforcement like the FBI, regulators like the FDA are paying close attention. The FDA proposed strict, lengthy trials for genetically engineered organisms, explicitly warned against self-modifications, unapproved products, safeguarding public health. Germany took a strong stance prohibiting DIY synthetic biology outside specialized labs. California enacted a law in 2019 targeting unregulated biohacking, and in 2020 banned selling CRISPR kits without clear warning labels, not safe for self-administration, research only. This highlights the ongoing debate. Proponents say restrictions stifle innovation, drive practices underground, making them less safe. So opponents emphasize safeguarding public health from unverified, potentially dangerous experiments lacking rigor or oversight.
So how does this connect to broader legal fields?
It touches several fundamental areas struggling to adapt. Human rights, upholding privacy, physical autonomy, especially with data collection, genetic mods, intellectual property, patents, copyrights could incentivize safer sharing of knowledge, fostering legitimate progress. And chillingly, criminal law. Concerns about illegal genetic modification, bioterrorism, poses significant risk to public safety, national security. The challenge for lawmakers is immense. Adapt legal systems while meticulously balancing innovation with non-negotiable public safety and ethics.
Okay. So after this truly expansive deep dive, wow. If you're listening and feeling inspired by the possibilities, but maybe also a bit overwhelmed by all the info, the cutting edge stuff, where do you actually begin your own journey into biohacking? It sounds like the key advice is always start small, manageable yet impactful changes.
That's absolutely the most critical piece of advice. Biohacking is fundamentally an ongoing, highly personalized journey of self-discovery optimization. The most impactful, sustainable steps often involve consistent, incremental lifestyle changes, building on foundational principles.
Okay, so break it down. Where to start? Diet.
For diet, yeah. Begin by making conscious choices. More whole, unprocessed foods. Increase vibrant fruits, veggies. Actively reduce ultra-processed stuff, added sugars, refined grains. If you suspect food sensitivities, maybe try a temporary, structured elimination diet to ID triggers. Keeping a simple food journal is excellent, low-tech. Track how foods really affect your energy, mood, digestion, cravings. You could also explore time-restricted feeding, intermittent fasting. Start simple, maybe a 10 or 12-hour overnight fasting window. Gently introduce the body to metabolic benefits.
Simple dietary shifts, journaling. What about exercise?
For exercise, aim for at least 30 minutes moderate activity daily. Doesn't have to be intense. Brisk walk, dance class, cycling. Just move consistently. Pay attention to how different exercises feel, respond, then adjust. For advanced recovery, maybe explore accessible tools like red light therapy for faster muscle recovery, less soreness after intense workouts. A good next step.
Mindfulness and stress seems crucial.
Crucial. For mindfulness and stress management, actively incorporate daily practices. Simple breath work like 4-7-8, guided meditations like Yoga Nidra. Significantly helps manage chronic stress, lower cortisol, improve mental clarity, supports better sleep, resilience. Even 5 minutes daily makes a difference.
Okay, and leveraging technology.
Right. To leverage technology as that personal health dashboard, start accessible. Smartwatches like Apple Watch, smart rings like Aura, fantastic entry points. Monitor HRV, sleep, activity. Get that tangible real-time feedback.
What about going deeper, like genetics?
If ready for deeper insights, consider home genetic testing kits from reputable providers. Invaluable info on dietary sensitivities, exercise response, health predispositions, allows more precise tailoring. Choose kits offering support for interpreting results.
And community. Is that important?
Definitely. Don't underestimate the power of community. Joining online communities, forums dedicated to biohacking, provide shared tips, invaluable support, keeps you updated on innovations, research. Learning from others, sharing your journey makes it more sustainable, enjoyable, collaborative. Remember, while tech offers incredible tools, the foundations, nutrition, sleep, exercise, stress reduction are paramount. Ultimately, in this journey, you are your best medicine. Your body is your greatest lab.
What an incredible deep dive into this dynamic, often surprising world of biohacking. We've covered, well, everything from leveraging everyday health optimization with wearables to understanding the pillars of sleep, diet, exercise, all the way to the truly radical frontier of genetic insights, AI integration, even the philosophical edge of body implants and transhumanism. It's clear that at its heart, biohacking is this powerful, personalized, deeply data-driven movement focused on empowering you to make informed decisions, enhance your own well-being.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the rapid evolution of these tools, From simple wearables, tracking steps, to advanced genetic interventions reshaping our biological code, it constantly pushes us to redefine what it truly means to be optimal, or maybe even human. This raises, I think, a really important question. As we gain this unprecedented control over our own biology, what ethical guardrails will truly guide us in this pursuit of enhancement? And how will our understanding of self, our place in the world, evolve in this ever-changing landscape of human potential?
A truly profound thought to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of biohacking. We hope it empowers you to start, or maybe continue, your own exploration into optimizing your potential. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep thriving.